Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. So today we have an interesting looking puzzle here. This one is called This Looks Cagey 4. I wonder why it's called that. Can't quite tell. It's by Villse. Hopefully I said that correctly. Apologies if I did not. As you can see, this is the fourth in a line of Cagey puzzles. I think this was the highest rated one in terms of what the solvers have described it to be in the rating system. So I thought this would be a good one to kind of jump in and see what's going on with this type of puzzle set here. And then depending on how we end up with this one, might jump into some of the other ones and see how those are. Anywho, that said, let's start taking a look at these rules and see what's going on. So we've got normal Sudoku rules apply. So every row, every column, and 3x3 box contains the digits 1 through 9 once each. Then we have killer cages, and that's the only other bit of rule set here. So digits within a cage must not repeat and must sum to the number given the top left corner. So we can look at any of these. These guys have to add up to 17, these to 13, these to 25, etc., etc., etc. I don't think we need any further explanation on that. So with that said, link is in the description below. Let's get into this thing, see if we can get it solved and figure out what's going on here. So how the heck do we do that is the question. Because there is a lot going on in this. We might have to search around a little bit to try to find something that we can use to help us. There are a couple of things that are kind of tantalizingly close to being useful. Like this 15, it can only be made two ways, 9, 6, or 8, 7, but that bit of ambiguity there isn't very helpful. Other thing to look at would be looking at entire regions and trying to use cage math to determine what's left over. Now in this 34 instance, that doesn't really help us because these have to equal it to 11 to get to 45. And there's multiple ways to get to 11 in two digits. 29, but then there's still multiple cages left over. Is there any cage here that's just a given set of digits by its math? The 27, I guess, has to have a 9 in it, right? But again, that's not great because it's going to be options there. 10's, the 25, 34. Well, maybe this one does, actually. This upside down T. 5 cells in a cage. 98765 is 35 in 5 digits. So the only way to get to 34 would be 98764. Yeah, that's the only way that works. What does that do, though? Because you've got a 12 cage with most of a 34 cage. We can't necessarily say what this digit is because there's multiple options that could be removed from this. If we could figure out what this digit was, we could then do the math to subtract that digit from that value, add it to this, and then figure out what this is. But I don't know that we can necessarily do this. We'll think about it, I guess. If this was a 9, let's say, this would be 25 plus 12. So we'd be up to 37. And this could just be an 8. And then every digit we go down just increases what that would be. So no, it doesn't look like that's too helpful. What about in this region? It's the same kind of concept, though. So we have 2 that are sitting outside of the... Well, this is inside the region, but the value we're using is outside of the region. These have to equal 25. This has to... Well, it has to be less than 20. Because if this was 20, we'd have 20 plus 25 is 45. This would have to be 0. can we determine what these can be? Because if we can use this as options, how is it going to affect this 21 cage? Let's go down this road for a second. So 25 plus 9 is 34. These would have to be 11. But that would force this to be a 10, because this is a 21 clue, so that can't ever happen. If this was 8, again, we're looking at 25 plus 8. We're at 33. These would be 12. And this would be a 9. And I think every digit we go down here, this becomes less. So we're looking at 9, 8, 7. I guess, well, yeah, so it would be 9 with 8, 8 with 7, 7 with 6. So this would be a 5, I think, with the 4. Let's look at that math. So 15 plus 4, or 25, excuse me, plus 4 is 29. This guy would have to be a 16, and that would be 5. So yeah, that would work. Okay. Again, 25 plus 8. It's 33. This would be 12 and 9. Yeah, that would work. That's not helping me, though. That's the problem. What about, that's 22. Okay, let's go further in. This has to have a 9 on it, right? Because to get to 20, not using a 9 in 3 digits is 876, which is 21. So this can't be a 9, first off. If it can't be 9, this can't be an 8, because we just did the math on that. So essentially we know from this, there is a 9 and an 8 in here. We'll kind of work with that for a second. Question is, where do we go from there? Because this could still be done in multiple ways. 985 and 976. Now, clearly the 985 would put this guy to bed. Because this would have to be 7. This would have to be 6. Is there anything else in this grouping? Don't believe I see something right away. So, have I started in the wrong place? Is there anything else out here? 6 digits. 22, no. Or 21, I think it was. Yeah, 21 is the bare minimum. These could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The location of 9, I don't think I can do in any of these other ones. We know this is a 9 and an 8 in here. I mean, I guess we can think about what this digit is, I guess, to figure out what the possibilities of this digit is, and maybe there is some conflict between those two. So let's go down that route. for a second. Let's see what happens. So let's say this is a... So let's start with 4, I guess. This means this would be 30. This would be 12. So we'd be at 42. This would have to be a 3. If this is a 6, this is 28, 40. This would be a 5. This is a 7. This ends up being a 6. That would break, right? So if this is 7, this is 27, 39. Yeah, this would have to be 6, but if this is a 7, the 6 goes in here. So this can't be a 7. If it can't be a 7, this can't be an 8. We know there's a 7 in here now. So we get 7, 8, and 9. It's close. Can we just keep going around the circle? The square, I guess, is the better way to say it. But because we're going to be able to figure out by these two options what this can be. So if this was a 5, these are 20. That's 41. This has to be a 4. If this is a 3, this is a 22 plus 21. That's 43. This has to be a 2. If that's the case, this is either 6 or 8. And let's just go around and see if somehow we get back to some place that we can actually use this information. We've got 36 here. If we had another 6, we'd be at 42. So this would have to be a 3. This is an 8. Again, we're at 36 plus 8 is 44. This would be a 1. If that's... Okay, let's keep going. If this is a 1, this is 26 and 19 equals 45. Right? Yes. That can't happen. So this has to be a 3. If all the math we've done to get this point is accurate, this is a 3. If that was a 3, we said this was a 6. This is a 4. If this was the 4, this have to be a 5, right? Because that would be 20, 41, 4. If this is a 5, this had to be what? Because if this was 6, no, this is 4, let's say. This was 30, 42. Yeah, so it's not 4. This would have to be 6, which means none of these are 6. Let's get rid of all this stuff. So 28, 40, 45, that works. Okay, now we've got a little bit of room here to work, I guess. We know this is 6. What does that tell us about this guy? Again, I have to go back and do the math because I can't remember back to all that. We've got 25, 31. This would have to equal 14, so therefore this would be 7. Therefore, these are not 7. Again, these digits have to be 1, 2, 3, and 6. This is not 6, so this is 6. There has to be a 6 in one of these. Anything else like that we can do. One of these is a 6. Okay. If this is a 3, these have to be 24. 987. It's the only way to do that now. Okay. And we can figure out this digit, right? Because we just decided this is 24 plus 19. We're up to 43. So therefore, this has to be a 2. If that's a 2, we have 30 plus 14, which is 44, which works. So this would be a 1. Is this where the path ends before we have to start looking elsewhere? Let's look at this 19, because we need 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just make sure that adds up. 11, 15, 18, 19, it does. Good. So this can't be 1. These can't be 3s. This can't be a 6. I'm putting in all these numbers just because it's going to be easier in the end to just kind of go back through. Well, hopefully we can go back through and get this figured out that way. Okay. What is the 30? This has to be 9876. So we have 30 left over and 4 digits, the only way to make it. This has to be 2345. 4 digits, 2, 3, 4, 5 equals 14. Good. This is not 2. This is not 6 again. We have to get a 7, 8, 9 triple here, which is interesting. Which means the absolute maximum these can be is 5, 4. Which doesn't work, because that would make 5, 4 plus 4. So the maximum it can actually be is 5, 3. But that wouldn't work either, right? Because you're looking at 5, 3 is 8. This would have to be 5. What about 5, 2? Or is there more we can do with this 21 that's going to make this kind of obsolete what I'm trying to do? Can't be 5, 2, actually, either. So let's just keep down this road. Because if it was 5, 2, that would be 7. This would have to be 6. The 6 already here. 5, 1. This would be 7. That does work. Does it do enough? Because that's only if we're using a 5 in here. Otherwise, we can go down to like 4, 3 is the next best thing. Well, that wouldn't work because that would force us to be a 6. 4, 2 would push this to be a 7 again. And then 4, 1 would also work. This would be 8. I don't really like going through all of these possibilities. Is there anything? Let's look at this. Well, I don't know if that 21 helps us because this is 14 in some way. No, I don't think that does much good for us. Okay. What else can we determine from what we've got? Is there anything in this row? We know one of these has to be a 5 because we can't repeat the 5 in the cage. The rest of them were 7, 8s, and 9s, which I think could probably go just about anywhere. I guess that does give us an X-wing on 5s. I mean, how much do we really care about that? I don't know that we do. What else can we do with math? Can we go up into here? Yeah, of course we can. I should have just kept on that, but I had to come back down here instead of going back up that way. We've got 22, 29. These have to add up to 16, which forces this to be an 8. This is an 8. Yeah, I just kind of lost my path there. I went up this direction. I didn't think to come back down this way. So anyway, 8 and 15, we're at 23. And then we've got 37. So these two digits must add up to 8, which means this must be a 9, which means these are not 9s. This is 9. This is not 9. Okay. Now 34 plus 9 is 43. This has to be a 2. And now maybe we're kind of back around the circle, or again, the square. So essentially we're going to know what all these digits are. Don't know how much that really helps. We know there's, okay, from these 9s, we know there's a 9 in the 16. Can we do anything with that? Let's think about it. because we're looking at 7 left over. We actually do know what this is, now that I look at it. We know if there's a 9 in there, so we know there's 7 left over in 2 digits. We can't use 6, 1, or 3, 4. So the only way to make 7 is 5, 2, which means there has to be a 5 in here, so this is a 5. Get rid of those. There's no 5 in any of these, so one of these is a 5. Now we know, again, because this had to add up to 7, after the 9, this has to be a 2-9 pair. We also could have used the 2s and the 9s to get up there and do it the other way, and know that there has to be a 2 and a 9 here. That's just a different way of doing the exact same math. 7s and 8s have to go in here, which means we're up to 15 already. These have to equal 5. They have to be 1 and 4. We could also use, again, just the basics of Sudoku to get to that same location. These have to be 3 and 5. Stop that, please. What else do we have? There's probably something else in here as well that we can use in terms of math. Let's see if we can find it. What about up in here? Up in here. We have to have 7s and 8s. This can't be 7, this can't be 8. Again, I could write in every single digit here, but I think that's a bit excessive. Maybe not. Again, one of these has to be a 3, but we don't need that because we know one of these is a 3. 7s and 8s didn't quite do much. It just leaves options here, which we already kind of knew what those options were. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This can't be 5. Okay, is there anything maybe in this column that we can put into this 21 that we're going to be able to figure anything else out? It doesn't look like it is, though. Yeah, because every digit has options down there. Okay. Come on, we got to have something here. The 4s, we already knew that. The 9s, so we know one of these is a 9. I guess we know these are from 7, 8, and 9, and this can't be 8. Just by looking at the row. Can we make this 25 work? Knowing that there has to be a 9 in it, and there's already a 5. So we're at 14, so there's only 11 left. Don't know that we can, because there's ways that can work. We know there's a 6 in here. We know there's a 5 in here as well. This can't be 5, obviously, because the given 5. I'm wondering maybe there's something I could be removing from some of these. Like the 8. Okay, that's what it was. I wasn't looking in that kind of concept of it. The 8 can't go in any of these because it's already in this cage, so it must be in here. So this is a 9, 8, 5. What else? I mean, again, we can write in every single possible digit here. 4, 5, 8, 9 is a quad to go with our 6s and 7s. Oh, that'll do it, because that leaves 1, 2, and 3 here. This can't be 1 or 2. This is 3, which means this is 9, which means this is not 9. There's a 9 down here, so there's no 9 here. That's a 4, 8, so this is a 7, 9. That gives us a 2 and a 9. Okay. Let's keep going if we can here. This is not 3, obviously. This is either 1 or 2. Now, if we have... Oh, it can't be a 2. Okay, there we go. This is just 1. This is 2. This is a 1-3 pair. Let's look back at our 21 cage here. And actually, let's get rid of the 1s here. That's going to be more important because we can put a 1 here because these guys can't be. We can't have 3s here either. These can't be 3s. We got to clean some stuff up here. Let's try to do that. See if that helps us any. One of these is a 3, so this is not. Does that go any further? Okay, what are we at? We're at 8. So these have to equal 13. We can't use 9-4 or 6-7. So it must be an 8-5 pair. That means that's not a 5. This is a 2-4 now, which is 6. This has to be 7. That works. 8, 7, 6, 8. These are not 6 and 8. This is a 5-8 pair, so that's a 4. This now hopefully is going to get us going there. These are not 4s or 5s, so this is 6. Yep, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5. That gives us a 2. We could have gone the opposite direction as well a little bit there, but that's okay. That 5 here gives us the 8 and the 5 and the 8. No 8s here. The 9 gives us the 7 and the 9, so I think we're moving now here pretty well. That's good. What else do we have? I'm looking up and down our rows just to make sure I'm not missing anything obvious at the moment. Doesn't appear to be, so we might have to start adding in some of these digits, or we can look at this 15 first. This now has to be 9-6 because this is the 8. The only option was 9-6 or 8-7. It can't be the 8, so this is the 6-9. This is 7. That forces 8, 9, 7. And these two digits must be 1 and 4. These guys have to be from 6, 7, and 8. Again, this is not, these two are not 8, so this is 8. Get rid of this mark, and we don't need that anymore. Okay. That 6 can't be here, so this actually ends up being a 5-6 pair. We could probably figure out what these guys can be. This, okay, if we look at the row, what's left over? We need 1, 4, and 8. Cannot be 4 or 8, so this is 1. If I can type in there, that means this is 4 and 1. That 4 gives us 8 and 4. These 3 digits, well, we're going to figure out this digit first. So we've got 10, 15, 22, 22, so this has to be a 3. That gives us a 5 and a 3. These two digits have to be from 2 and 8. Does that work mathematically? It does, and we have an 8, so 2, 8. And scanning again real quick just to make sure we're not missing anything obvious. And where is our next step? The 6 here. There we go. 5 and 6. The 9 here gets a 7 and 9. Then we can start dumping in digits here. So we need 1, 3, and 7. This is not 7. These have to be from 2, 4, and 5. That's not 2. If we know these are 2, 4, and 5, it's going to give us this digit, right? Because this is 11. So this has to be a 3, 1, 7. 17 works, good. 4, 1. This is not 4. What else we got? That 9 does the 6 and the 9. This can't be a 6 anymore. What about you guys? We need 2, 3, and 5. The 5 cannot go in either one of these, so it's here. 5, 4, 2. Again, this has to be 2 and 3. The 9 here now gives us 5 and 9. 3 and 5. 7 gives us 6 and 7. This has to be 6. This is a given 1. We're just going to finish 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2. And our final digit here should be a 4. And it is. Oh, it says it doesn't have a solution to this one. There must be a new link that's like it says here. So I'll go back and do that and put that new link in for this description here. But anyway, excellent puzzle. Really enjoyed that one. This looks Cagey 4 by Villse. We might have to go back now and look at some of the other ones. Really fun puzzle. It did take a little while to kind of go through the logic of where you could find a little bit of an option and what things could be, and then kind of circumnavigate the globe almost here to try to find where we get to a point where something breaks if you used one of those two options. And that's how this thing seemed to break for me, at least. So anyway, hope you all enjoyed this one. I certainly did, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks a lot.